Rap fans are idiots. That's the title of this video, but I said that to be hyperbolic. Some of the people watching this video don't even know what hyperbolic is. And that's my point. It's the King Show. This is where I'm supposed to tell you to like and subscribe and hype this video, whether it's music, culture, technology. This is my channel. First, let me get to why I'm making this video. I'm King Green. I'm an artist, I'm an MC, I'm a songwriter. I've been in the music industry for like 12 years. I've made countless records that are pop records, rock records, and definitely come from an MC point of view. My validation comes from the people and the legends that I've worked with.
Looking at a tiller, the psychopath, the killer, the caterpillar. This right here for the #1.
I was on that.
Side note, here's a middle finger to 5-0. Oslo smoking and hydro.
We did that.
$1 million in the bank.
I've been in the music industry paying my bills for 12 years off of writing. I sit here on the internet and see all of these conversations and discourse about lyrical analysis from rap because of the battle, due to the Drake and Kendrick battle. The problem is people don't know what the hell they're talking about, but they still speak like an authority. And it ain't really their fault. Everyone became detectives, and it went from understanding and comprehending the framework of MCing and hip hop to decoding and figuring out who's who and who's getting exposed. Who's this nigga talking about? Who's he talking about? And this line actually is about this person because of that. Who's he talking about? He said that about that person? And that explainerism has nothing to do with the actual framework of MCing. And what do I mean by idiot? I'm just saying that people do not have the literacy to really comprehend rhetoric or literature. And since they don't understand the framework of hip hop, as well as a lot of times the English language or media literacy, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Look at this. My opinion, exclamation, exclamation. Nobody has to explain why Eminem, Busta Rhymes, Joyner Lucas are the best. But Kendrick, Jay-Z, if you guys didn't tell me what they were rapping about, I wouldn't know. If these guys weren't already famous and we didn't know their personal issues, we wouldn't care. It sounds like gibberish to me. No flow, it's choppy. If you didn't explain it to me, it wouldn't make any sense. Just letting hip hop fans know why hip hop is struggling. Rap fans are idiots. Most likely a white guy who said this, right?
I like white folks, but I don't like you.
He probably could relate to the content of Eminem. He could relate to the visuals and narrative that Joyner Lucas is giving you. He could relate to the flow and expressiveness of Busta Rhymes, but he doesn't have the cultural context to understand Kendrick and Jay-Z. And to be able to develop that context, it's not about even being from the culture. It's about having literacy. It's about understanding the language. If I speak Spanish, yo comprendo. I'm going to be able to maneuver in different situations and go to different countries because I speak Spanish. You don't speak this language. Rap fans are idiots. I really need to make a song called Rap Idiot. Yeah, I need to do that. I had a comment from a nigga that said, I'm making rap white by trying to explain it and educate people. As if Black people never in history ever educated anybody anything. That there was never systems created by Black people. Mathematics. That statement is inherently anti-Black, and that nigga couldn't even figure that shit out. We have created different forms of rhetorical devices through this culture and art form of hip hop. You don't speak this language. This is from the NFR podcast. I got no issues with these guys, but I want to show how things could get misconstrued and become loose when you don't understand the framework of MC. Like, you got to understand how an MC is thinking. It's not just poetry. It's not just literature. You have to truly understand it to analyze it. So
back up a tab and should know, because I do buy everything like I'm Middle Eastern. We have a crazy double entendre here with two homophones. But let's start off with the first homophone. Iraq, meaning he acquires money.
Those are not homophones. A homophone is individual words that sound the same or nearly the same and have two different meanings. So that's like pair and pair, sail and sail, right and right. Let's continue.
is extremely wealthy and he earns a lot. But that could also be heard as Iraq, the popular country in the Middle East. Now, the second homophone is Dubai. Obviously, he does buy.
Also not a homophone. What this is, when you say I do buy and you mean Dubai, that's like saying ice cream and ice cream. Those are oronyms. That's the difference between a homonym and a oronym. It's when it's a phrase that sounds like a word or another phrase, as well as you could call it a phonetic pun, which is this whole thing he's getting into right now.
Everything insinuating that he'll go shopping and he'll purchase expensive goods, but that also sounds like Dubai. Those are the two homophones. But there's a crazy double entendre here because within these bars, he's obviously referencing the Middle East with countries like Dubai and Iraq, and he's also referencing that
this isn't a double entendre, and I'll get to why in a second.
He likes to spend his money on luxurious goods, but some people are also saying that this is a triple entendre because he's portraying himself as a wealthy Middle Eastern man.
I'll rack up a tab in Chanel because I do buy everything like I'm Middle Eastern. That has the wordplay. There's complex wordplay in it. There's the oronyms. There's an extended allusion, but it's not a double entendre. That doesn't make it less of a line. This was a well-written bar, right? There isn't two meanings. This is just an extended allusion. So he's alluding to being from the Middle East or being Middle Eastern in the beginning of the bars, and then says in a simile that he is Middle Eastern. But there's no double meaning here. There's no extra meaning. It's an allusion. It's a reference. A reference doesn't equal meaning. That's the problem I'm seeing with the literacy level of people. And they're seeing people like myself, Prof, Toure, the Company Man, Curtis King, Screwface, everybody break down these lyrics for Kendrick during the battle and talking about these double entendres. And they're like, whoa, wait a minute. I see that this also means that, so it must be that. But I don't use the word reach no more because that's y'all word. That's the rap idiot's word. I use extra textual. The shit that y'all coming up with is extra textual. You can't prove the other meaning in the text. A true double entendre would be something like real G's moving silent like lasagna. Or because most people think I be hating on Drake for no reason, I could use a Drake line from the new one. What is that? Bills on their face, that's why they ducking Drake. That is probably a quadruple entendre, maybe five. The whole bills on it works within the concept and the framework many times. You can add all these up and it makes sense in that one line. That's in the actual text. So that's when something has multiple meanings. It's not just referencing something. And I'm okay with people making mistakes because I make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. There's hundreds of rhetorical devices and literary devices and ways to describe wordplay and figures of speech. Mismatching words, missing things, that's okay. But not having an understanding of the framework of the art form is the issue. And then presenting yourself as knowledgeable, that's the problem.
The pillar of hip hop is writing. That is, it's art. It's like creative art. You know what I'm saying? Like the essence of hip hop, you got to be able to like put words together for real, and not just be somebody else's.
If I was a rapper, I couldn't have nobody write my wrongs.
Like you got Omarion telling this man what it is to be a writer in the culture of hip hop.
No, I gotta give you some pushback on that.
Okay, tell me why.
To me, music is music, and I get it. It is a difference. But it be 12 people on the R&B track, and they kind of be like, we kind of know that's not your record.
No, all these 12 niggas wrote it for you. How about that?
These niggas can't
rap. And this nigga doesn't care. He's like, well, music is music. We're not talking about music. We're talking about MCing.
This nigga can't flow like me. I look better than this nigga. I got more hoes than this nigga.
You can have a good run, but you can't be Jay-Z just by chance. You can have a good run, but you can't be Kendrick Lamar by chance.
There's a difference between an MC and a rapper, and it's not a figment of our imaginations. There is a framework that I'm going to show you, and there's also an understanding about how this language is used within analysis and observation that gets fumbled a lot of times. That Drake and Kendrick battle changed everything because it didn't just become rap analysis. It started becoming detective work, decoding who's dissing who and who they talking about. And the gossip was more important than the actual MCing. Before the battle, people used to talk about rhyme schemes. They used to talk about patterns and wordplay. And I used to make these videos. Here's me explaining what a scheme is. You know what a rap scheme is? Not a rhyme scheme, but a rap scheme. Let me explain. Schemes are usually extended metaphors or figurative language that expresses a whole idea or concept within a verse.
Tech getting all the money here in modern times, so I'm about to shift for a dollar sign.
This is a double entendre. I'm directly saying tech companies are the most valuable, so I'm going to pivot my career and work with them. I'm also saying when you hold Shift and 4 on a computer keyboard, it makes a dollar sign. A literal example of using tech to make a dollar sign. That's a bar. And the idea of a scheme is language that got developed by the culture. There's certain things that people say in hip hop that have different meaning within the culture. And that needs to be understood when you understand the framework. You can't just apply literary knowledge to hip hop rhetoric. It has its own value, its own culture, and has moved things just like AAVE has changed things in the English language, like the habitual B. Look that up. I'm not going to explain to you what the habitual B is. And that's why I love this art form so much, and it needs to be viewed as high art. This is not just rapping and tapping and shit. No, no, no. I'm not you, rapper. So I think all this happens when rap analysis became kind of mainstream. And when did it become mainstream? After the Kendrick and Drake battle. Everyone became detectives, and it went from understanding and comprehending the framework of MCing and hip hop to decoding and figuring out who's who and who's getting exposed. Who's this nigga talking about? Who's he talking about? And this line actually is about this person because of that. Who's he talking about? He said that about that person. And that explainerism has nothing to do with the actual framework of MCing. And obviously, this gossipness is entertainment. It's enticing. We do this all the time. We try to figure out, oh, is this person talking about that? But what's most important is how they talking about the person. It's about how they are talking about the person. I keep using the term framework of MCing, so let me explain what that framework is. Most people think rap is just literature, like poetry to a beat. Rap is literature, but it's more so rhetoric. I had a professor tell me one time that literature seeks understanding and rhetoric seeks persuasion. The goal of rhetoric is to move people, is to persuade people and convince people. That sounds a lot like rap, right? Like when someone's rapping, they're trying to persuade you into understanding where they're coming from and that they are that nigga, that other person isn't. We always say rap is a competitive sport, and that's what rhetoric is when it comes to persuading. But even in telling your stories, you're trying to convince and inspire people through this rhetoric. That is a form of persuasion. And with that, it brings us to Aristotle's rhetorical triangle. And what is that rhetorical triangle? It is ethos, pathos, and logos. Ethos is credibility. Pathos is emotion, and logos is logic. Some Greek shit, you know what I'm talking about? And if you break up those three things, you could think of rappers that fall in those sets. And the best MCs move through this rhetorical triangle with ease. We're talking Kendrick Lamar, Jay-Z's, Nas, and they're using rhetorical devices and colorful language to be able to persuade and convince people of these ideas. An ethos example, I ain't a killer, but don't push me. That works because Tupac said it. We believe Tupac, and he knows that. So he says, I ain't a killer, but don't push me. And he's established that credibility in his work. Pathos, I can't see it coming down my eyes, so I gotta make the song cry. That shows his invulnerability. That shows his own internal struggle with showing emotion. And if you're from that same place, you could relate to that hyper masculine type of perspective where it's like, I ain't about to cry, but I do have these emotions. I do feel this. And logos. Logo could be a simple narrative statement. My glove compartment is locked. So is the trunk in the back, and I know my rights, so you gonna need a warrant for that. He's giving you the logic of why he's right in that situation. And this framework always existed in emceeing, but it developed and got more complex over time. Like when we're talking about 80s rap and people look at that and feel like it's really dumbed down, moving to the turning point, which is Rakim really, and everything after that, the technical skill of an MC is probably more complex than ever in today's emceeing across the genre, across the culture and world and the mainstream. It's just that people are actually dumber. Rap fans are idiots. And we could blame a lot of things. We could blame the education system, or we could blame the algorithms. They've done plenty of studies of the effects of these algorithms on children's and human beings in general. And a lot of people ignore it, but over time, this is affecting how we think and how we communicate, and especially how we comprehend. According to the National Center of Education Statistics, roughly half of American adults read below a 6th grade reading level. About 1 in 5 adults read at or below a 3rd grade reading level. Reading proficiency among students has declined in recent years. Book reading is declining. Long form reading is declining. Attention spans are clearly declining. People are consuming more information than ever while spending less time thinking about any individual piece of information that they're receiving. And I know I said rap fans are idiots, but this isn't about intelligence. Reading comprehension and literacy and intelligence are not the same thing. You can be incredibly smart and not a strong reader, but literacy matters because it's not about just the meaning of words. So literacy is understanding language. And if everyone's speaking different languages and doesn't care to understand the other person's language, that's where you get friction. So I would say literacy is important for harmony. And that's my mantra anyways. Be together, not the same. So when literacy declines, it shouldn't be a surprise to us that rap conversations have become less sophisticated. And by the way, the highest form of an MC, I don't care what nobody tells you, that's a battle rapper.